What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and we're going to depart from the Spec Ops 25 task list for just one video here. This one's long overdue. It's going to be the unlocking of the Chapter 8 reward alternate costume Kuurth, the Breaker of Stone. This costume, and basically it's its own character, well, it's absolutely phenomenal. So let's go ahead and skip to the unlocking, then I'll show you how I socket it. And finally, we're going to check her out in PvP action. Seriously, the Worthy is by far the coolest thing in this game. Just check her out, she looks amazing. And trust me, she plays as good as she looks. Now once you unlock Kuurth, you'll get her in both Bruiser and Scrapper form. So those are two fairly good classes to choose from. Generally, I'm going to choose the Bruiser first, unless there happens to be a new annoying infiltrator, or for some reason an influx of infiltrator agents or heroes. Still, both classes are going to be built pretty much the same. Now I'll be completely honest with you, this build process is going to be very familiar because I'm going to go forceful and bulky. However, after I put in the first forceful, I ran out of ISO, so I went ahead and fast forwarded to when we restocked. Then there's two other things I want to mention as we socket Kuurth. First of all, you could use Stalwart and boost her health instead of just using Bulky. And secondly, her level 2 does have Rune of Ruin. And once you place this debuff, it says attacks against this target are guaranteed to hit and crit. So you certainly could take that into account. And obviously, if you're going to have guaranteed hits, you don't have to worry very much about your accuracy. The same thing would apply to if you're using a certain weapon, gadget, or teammate that could guarantee her hits. So that's always something you want to keep in mind when you're socketing ISO 8. But for now, we went 4 forceful and 4 bulky. Then we actually ended up getting one of her new E-ISO that's in the store to try out. Both of them look great, but we settled on the Rising Empowered ISO 8. This grants her Revengeance. Vengeance and Worthy Vengeance are guaranteed to counter melee and ranged attacks. That sounds pretty awesome to me because her counters can be devastating. Then moving on to her A-ISO, apparently the Dazing A-ISO does work on her. I do hope that it's not bugged or glitched or anything like that. But what this does is it grants her level 1 Dazing. Brawl or Stonebreaker in this case gains Exploit Stun and Exploits Delirium. That is going to definitely boost our damage. And also it makes me want to really try her out with some different combinations such as Morbius, Enchantress, Moonstone and Loki, and a few other heroes that we will definitely explore in a later video. For this one, we're going to stick with one of her worthy counterparts, Null, the Breaker of Worlds. And for her level 2 A-ISO, after some debate, we're going to go with the Thorned A-ISO. This is going to grant her thorns whenever she uses her level 2. Since this is a magic attack, you could make it stealthy, so I am debating getting that A-ISO. Perhaps in the future though. Then for her level 6 and 9, they're both debuffs, so we won't put any A-ISO on those. Alright, so as we jump into our first battle, right away we get a mirror match. Fortunately, our Kuurth gets to go first, and I love every one of her abilities, so it's actually difficult to choose. But in this video, I'm going to be messing around with Love Me, and wait until you see how amazing this action is. It ends up being a ton of fun. To be honest though, her level 6 Fear Me is a great fight starter. That's because it's a subtle AoE debuff that places Intimidated, so reduces attack, accuracy, and evasion, then Pheromones, and Rune of Fear. Rune of Fear says 20% chance for attacks to fail and cower in fear, only occurring once per round. It also reduces the damage of attacks, and this character's buffs are removed when this rune explodes. But Love Me on the other hand has Mind Control, Disoriented, and the funnest part, the Rune of Control. The enemy will actually counterattack allies that attack a worthy. This even means they'll punch themselves. Then this character's stamina is completely drained when this rune explodes. Oh, and by the way, they also have Converted, so they'll deal extra damage while attacking allies. You will see that happen in this fight, but unfortunately I have a Scrapper agent, and they're loving attacking him right now. We're going to make a change to that in the next fight. Well, right here we do get a preemptive Fatal Fist counter, and then after the enemy agent uses the Twisted Gift, our Kuurth is going to counterattack, and then his own Null is going to finish him off. So there goes a proc, and right away you can see why I really love that debuff. Especially if the enemy team has a Null. he will Fatal Fist them to death. Then he is exhausted, so he only gets to use You're Not Worthy, but unfortunately our agent does go down. There's actually a silver lining though, we only have Worthy left. So that means Kuurth is attacking a Worthy, and after that, she's going to get obliterated by her own Null. Also, we were lucky and our tag team ISO gave us an extra turn. So with that, we're going to use Fatal Fists, and then why not a second one? Next up, with Kuurth, we're going to use our level 1 Stonebreaker. And trust me, this is a pretty heavy damage move. This does have deadly crits, exploits delirium because of our AISO, and runic release. So with that, we take down Null and our mirrored opponents. Now for our second fight, I did make a few changes to our agent, and this is closer to what I began the actual season with. So we're using the Tactician Empowered Armor, and we have more variety as far as what weapons we can use on our turn. Don't get me wrong, the Deathly Freeze Ray combination is fantastic with the World Breaker. However, because of its cooldown, we ended up having to waste our extra turns. That's no longer going to be the case. But anyways, after Jekyll and Hyde fortunately misses, we're going to once again have some fun with Love Me. This time we're targeting Anti-Venom. He's up next, and also I think it would be pretty interesting watching him attack his own teammates. So here we go, Anti-Venom is now in love with Kuurth, and he's also going to take a Fatal Fist preemptive counter. Then after using Bloodletting on a Worthy, he's going to hit himself, so that's what I was talking about earlier. That goes for the enemy agent or anyone else, that is if they hit a Worthy while under the effects of Love Me. Specifically the Rune of Control. Alright, and after exhausting the enemy team with the Fire Tornado, this agent apparently does have the Gaunt Caress. Well, actually it looks like they have the full Horseman set. And to make matters worse, that's the end of our turn. However, the enemy agent is going to take some damage from dots, and then Anti-Venom with his mind control is going to step up and protect. So he takes quite a big hit from the No Mercy, and better him than us. Next up, with Null, I suppose we'll use our level 2 on Beast, and then we do proc an extra turn. So with that, we'll use Fatal Fists. Sadly, he hangs on with only 937 HP, so it's pretty surprising that they're somehow living. But we do know that they're both going to die to dots on their next turn. So with Kuurth, I'm going to use her level 2 Road to Ruin on the enemy agent. At this point, this match is really about over. We only have to finish off the agent, but he is quite annoying with that Gaunt Caress counter. Fortunately, it misses. After that, Anti-Venom's going to drop out, and so it's going to be our agent's turn. This time we're going to begin with Fire Tornado once again, and then once again that's going to be the end of our turn. But we're completely fine with that because we rather have a Worthy finish off this match anyways. I will admit though, I did forget how annoying the Gaunt Caress was. It keeps hitting us with disadvantage, and that creates a negative effect according to the class of the target. I for one can't wait to get that new Tactician Safeguard suit. Then we'll be immune to Exhausted and we won't have to worry about that. But still, we're going to win this one pretty handily, and that's going to be the end of this video. There will be a lot more of Kuurth coming, that I can guarantee. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck, and take care.